Good evening and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament on Active Citizens. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me Ifoma Oji and Mr. Ugochukwu Afoba. Good evening. How are you all doing today?
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're doing great. I am doing great.
You sound like a meek lamb.
I am.
How are you all doing today?
Yeah.
All right.
I guess we're gearing up to November 8th.
Yes, we are. It's going to be interesting to see
Exactly.
how the first election before 2027 pans out.
Yeah.
Exactly. But before then, we have some trendy hot headlines for us this evening. And first, we'll start with China throwing its weight behind Nigeria and warns foreign powers to stay out of the country's internal affairs. After that, we move on to President Bola Tinubu, who is seeking fresh approval for a 1.15 trillion naira domestic loan to help fund the United States versus Nigeria tension that has been building up. The United States versus Nigeria tension that has been building up now it has a new twist to it. We are seeing China throwing its weight behind Nigeria and instead warning foreign powers, which we know is the United States, to stay out of the country's internal affairs. This message was given by China's spokesperson, and there are a lot of comments on this particular situation. We're going to look at some comments on X as regarding how Nigerians are seeing this particular back and forth. Nelson Collins says, make it make sense. How can a country that punishes thieves at home endorse the house where thieves dine freely abroad? I like that. So Jerry is saying, I'm not surprised about China's support, in quote. Nigeria is already deep in debt to them. You don't condemn the government that owes you billions. It's not diplomacy, it's business. So they're trying to protect their investments.
Exactly.
Beijing is saying, in China, where she's speaking from, they hang corrupt politicians in 1 second. But here she is supporting a country where politicians wear corruption like apparel, surrounding them like a shield.
No.
Who says, this is going to be a serious battle between China and America. Nigeria is the puppet in this game, and Nigeria has no say regarding its sovereignty. What a pity. Indeed, what a pity.
I agree completely.
You agree completely. Okay. It seems as though, you know, they say when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers.
Exactly.
But, you know, this has a new twist now, because when we had this conversation, you know, we had varying opinion. People saying that the United States is strictly coming because of the Christian genocide and the massacre of Christians since 2010 and all of that. Then other people are saying that there is a political undertone saying that China already has interest in Nigeria, and since the United States and China is in a sort of cold war, they are using Nigeria as a battlefield to say. Now, you know, China coming out to put their weight behind Nigeria, do you think it has confirmed that notion, Ifoma?
To an extent, or maybe it has, clearly. I mean, we already know that Nigeria poses to be a sovereign state, even though it's not a sovereign state at this point in time, because a sovereign state is supposed to take decisive decisions about its policies and the rest of them, you understand. But we are seeing that there is nothing like that. We are seeing interference from, you know, external bodies like the US right now. So I get the fact that they are coming out to support Nigeria. I mean, a place where you feed, are you not supposed to protect it?
Oh, a place where you feed.
Exactly. So imagine a situation whereby I remember one tweet on social media, they would tell somebody said something about somebody owing him, that whenever he goes to church on Sunday, he always prays for the person not to die. So China here is kind of supporting Nigeria, so that, I mean, when this doom befalls Nigeria, their investment will not be lost. You understand? We know most definitely that Nigeria, the statistics for 2025, but 2023 alone, we are owing Nigeria and China about $5.1 billion
If not
with interest. I'm talking about just 2023. Now 2024, there's 2025. So they definitely need to protect their investment.
So I think it's just debt now that they are acting as loan sharks to reclaim debt, because people are saying other things like oil, looking at natural resources that Nigeria has, and saying that there are a lot of Chinese mining companies that have been given the free pass in Nigeria to operate. So if you are talking benefits, things that they stand to gain, are we just looking at the debt or other resources?
First of all, why did they loan Nigeria in the first place? That's because they are targeted the oil and gas market, not just the oil and other.
Honestly, because. And there was a comment you read on Twitter. It says that Nigeria is now a pawn in all of. Nigeria is insignificant and inconsequential. It's not even about Nigeria. Anymore. It's about the ego of the two superpowers. That's the United States and China. Because, like you already said, the United States and China, they are both in a Cold War.
Yes.
And United States is known to be a country that with world power. Same with China. And China already has a good diplomatic relationship with Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now they see the United States coming in as it makes the United States have an upper hand against China, because whether Trump says he wants to stop the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. No,
you see this particular argument. You see this particular argument is quite interesting and it's very controversial. A lot of Nigerians have also come out to say that this particular resources that people are citing, that the United States might come and take away with them after they are done with Islamists and the jihadist terrorists attacking Christians. People are saying that already we have gold, we have oil, we have coal, we have cocoa, we have lithium, and the rest of them. But they're asking, how is it reflecting in the life of an average Nigerian? So I'm posing that question to you, Ifoma. If already, right, we have all of these resources, do you think that it is adequately reflecting in the lives of Nigerians? Because there's also a popular comment that went viral. They said, it is not Nigerians that own natural resources. It is Nigerian politicians that own these natural resources. So if you are taking the natural resources, you're taking it not out of Nigerians' pocket, but out of the politicians' pocket. But what's your take on that?
If those things were reflecting on Nigerian citizens, at least Wike would have added.
Stray bullet.
We would have added, and we would have seen a lot of development in Nigeria, but it does not reflect. If it reflects, Nigeria wouldn't have to borrow.
That's even the
Nigeria will focus on generating internal revenues than always borrowing and borrowing. It's because of the fact that this is meant for the politicians. That is why every single time we see them making announcements in headlines that they are about to do this one, they are about to do this one, commission the other one, all these things, just announcements. But at the end of the day, we are not seeing its fruition in the life of those living in Nigeria, which is a very sad situation.
You said something about oil revenues and not making enough revenues, right? So there's a trending video as well where President Tinubu came out and said that if we are flourishing or we are doing well with non-oil revenues, generating money through non-oil means, then we won't have to worry about what President Trump is saying on the other side. Literally said that we won't have to worry about what President Trump is saying on the other side. So I'm just asking now, let's look at our revenue generation, our GDP growth, especially in 2025, and how it has dipped and later increased by just 0.5%. But let's also take a look at the fact that we are still oil dependent in 2025. Well, what do you foresee that would even play with all of this battle for Nigeria?
But your president said he has come up with a lot of reforms that Nigeria will no longer be dependent. That Nigeria is no longer dependent. It's not like Nigeria will no longer be. He said explicitly that Nigerians do not or will not depend on oil anymore. But we are seeing that we are still depending on oil. And I'm asking, where are all those sectors? Where is agriculture? Farmers cannot go to the farm to produce. That's not food security. So I am asking, is it that this government don't have oversight? Is it that they don't have common sense? Even a little child can do some things, certain things that that is reasonable. And at this point I'm asking, is it that nobody is giving them sense, even if they don't have? Why don't they borrow sense from international bodies? Because these people are people with, when they talk about sovereignty, they have it. You see the way Trump talks about, policies, he stands by it and he goes with it. You see how the president of Russia comes up with a policy, he stands by it. There's nothing like interference. Why is it that Nigeria is always more like ding dong every single time we are playing yin and yang? Why?
Between international powers.
Why?
We're talking about sovereignty, because this sovereignty is something that, it is really, it's a big deal now. We're a sovereign nation, truly. And
we are not.
China has come out to cite that. But between these battles between Mr. Ogochukwu, between both countries, how do you think Nigeria can still maintain autonomy even as they are battling for Nigeria right now?
I think this should be a wake-up call for the Nigerian government. At this point, I would have to align with Mr. Peter Obi's recent statement that this should be a wake-up call for the Nigerian government, for the presidency, for this Tinubu-led administration. Let them try for once. Just this, if they can't solve anything, insecurity, in securing the lives of citizens, let them start with it. Do you know, because it is very disheartening. It is so disheartening, not just to talk about it, but in fact, if you think about it. So that's why I think this whole drama with both China and the United States coming in, it should make them stand straight and then try to solve this insecurity, even if it requires getting help. By help, I don't mean that they should send in forces.
Yes.
Get intelligence, like Ifeoma said now, from these countries, from the United States, and since China is already supporting,
I like the fact that a lot of people have also come out to say the same thing. If you know you can't do this, you're on your own. If you know you need help, open up and ask for help. It would not reduce your sovereignty. It won't make you a terrible government or the most wicked or weak president at the end of the day. It just shows that your heart is truly with the people, although it just gives wrong signals that we had to wait until the United States had to involve itself with our business for us to sit up, and we're running helter-skelter, but still talking about our issues in Nigeria. Now Tinubu is seeking a fresh 1.5 trillion naira loan, domestic loan, to fund the 2025 budget deficit. So we have a budget deficit. It is November already, 2025. The budget is not enough. They are seeking a 1.15 trillion naira. Now, what is interesting for this particular loan, because every single time we talk about loans, it's not a new thing, but I'm just seeing now that for some time, if you can calculate since August thereof, we've been seeing more of foreign loans from the World Bank, from IMF, but this is a domestic loan. It's
not the first time.
It's not the first time. I'm saying since August, right? I'm trying to compare. This is the latest domestic loan we've seen. We saw the 2.2 trillion that was approved by the Senate for, and the 500,000, sukuk, and all of that. So I'm seeing this now. The most recent 1.15 trillion naira, and I'm just asking, for 2025, and with the budgeting that has been going on, this is already November, we've run out of time. Personally, have you seen the reflection of this 2025 budget already?
Sharon, there is no reflection. Rather, what I'm seeing is numerous citizens of Nigeria being plunged into more poverty. And I'm asking myself, see, I don't want to keep on, repeating this over and over again. But why are you borrowing? Why are you've borrowed from IMF, you've borrowed from World Bank, you've borrowed from China, you borrow from US, you borrow domestically, you still don't borrow to rat and dog. Where is the reality of these things that you are borrowing at the end of the day? What is wrong with this government? We are talking about insecurity. We are talking about genocide attack. I'm not saying there is genocide attack, but whether there is genocide attack, is there attack? Yes. Are there killings? There is killings. Why not focus on insecurity? Why not stop insecurity immediately? A lot of people are coming in to throw in their weight on this insecurity issue, and the only thing that the federal government of the president of the federal government of Nigeria could think of is to loan. And I ask myself, apart from this loaning, what is the work of the legislative arm of government? Why is it that whenever the president comes up with one bill or one loan or the other, they approve it immediately? But I remember a certain time when Senator Natasha raised up a motion, said a prayer, you saw the reactions of the Senate House. Now this is a particular topic that is supposed to unite the entire, Senate House, but they will rather die. Yeah. They will rather be strangled than react positively to it. And I ask myself, why are we in this situation in Nigeria? Why is it that the Senate House cannot offer or deliver on their mandate? They are supposed to act as people that debate laws, debate or even checkmate the government activities. Why is it that they are not acting as these oversight bodies?
So
why?
It seems as though they are more receptive to this particular government's bills or need for loans. The 2.2 trillion naira was just weeks ago, barely weeks after we are seeing 1.15 trillion naira possible loan domestically. But let's also take a look at this, right? 2026, January 2026, 20% income tax, all Nigerians are crying. We have debt to pay, and one thing about debt is that the interest as well is keeps accumulating, and we don't know how much. Sincerely speaking, Nigerians have no idea how much they owe. So for the average,
it's actually 200 and something thousand each Nigerian citizen out of the 240 something million Nigerians that we have.
But you think it's a joke. So for the average Nigerian like yourself, how do you think that they can manage with this or this insistent debts here and there?
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria wants to borrow a new loan. At least he has made that known to the legislature. But then every day people defect to APC and we have a national rally for them. The other day, Wike led a delegation to Dubai, and part of the people who went there were his sons. There we had of him purchasing the presidential yacht for over 4 billion naira. That was a long time ago. So this, how could I forget? He gave these Super Falcons,
Falcons,
$100,000 each of them.
They didn't give them because they came out to complain.
They made the pledge.
That they didn't give them the 100,000.
The federal government made the pledge. So this government is the most extravagant I have ever seen. This government is the most extravagant government I have seen, because we are spending more than we are making. We are spending so much. And you think that we are seeing the result? Like when we are spending extravagantly from internally generated revenue. It's not like it will be better, but compared to the loans they are borrowing now, we can sit it out. It's our money that we are spending. But then for loans,
it is sad.
People have always said, and I agree with them, if they explain Nigeria to you and you understand it, it was not explained very well.
Yeah, it was not explained very well, I tell you.
Speaking, it is this very interesting that we see things like this happening, where we are talking about non-oil revenue generation. In agriculture, we are not seeing any headway. In tech, we are not seeing any headway.
Nothing.
In entertainment, it's just
Nothing. See, the president said that though he may tarry, he said, just I have reforms. Just be patient.
How long?
You keep on being patient till you die.
We have over 100,000 spokesmen who are eating from the national cake.
Daniel Bada would not like this. Let's also now talk about, what's going on in Anambra State. Like we said earlier in the show, the election, the November 8th election for Anambra State, and the INEC, has already started making plans. We've seen over 25,000 deployment of personnel to Anambra State. We've seen the INEC chairman coming out to promise free, fair election. Now we are seeing the PSC, the police, sending monitors to Anambra and warning police officers against compromise. All of these big plans are coming together, and we are to see what is to come of it on November 8th. But how do you think, now the police force has come out to say that they should ensure that they conduct free and fair election and protect citizens and all of that, but how can the police force ensure that the police personnel on ground are not compromised?
Do you know, this actually reminded me of one picture I saw on social media about a police hugging, is he a naval officer, like to protect him, taking refuge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's more like a security agent protecting a security agent.
Oh, wow.
So it was very iconic, it was very funny to see. But let me ask you, I don't want to ask you this question, Sharon, because you are the anchor here, but I want to ask you, the police in Nigeria, are they compromise or not? No, just come on, we're airing our opinions here.
Of course,
you can just answer. But I will answer since you don't want to answer. The Nigerian police, we know most definitely, is compromised. We see even the news, the topic we had in the afternoon, where Ned Woko allegedly sent police to come and arrest Regina's brothers or siblings. You understand? So these policemen are more like tools. They are just there for decoration. They're just there for when you come, wherever you want. So long as you place bounty or you place money on their table, they will do whatever you want. They will worship at your feet.
I said you should stop giving these police officers any money or whatever.
Are they on the road with them? That's the thing.
That's what my question was, to be honest.
Now,
that since they've done this and they've come out to say no compromise, do not do this, how can they, from where they are in Abuja, ensure that there's no compromise?
That is number one. And then number two, you are telling them that if they compromise or if they are not neutral, or if there is any form of bias or irregularities, that you will sanction them. That was what he said. And I asked, how much are they paying these policemen in the first place to post such thing on them? That is the question. Because when you pay someone well, in United States, if you see police officers carrying about their duties, you would want to stand on that road. You would want to command, they command respect just by standing on that road. But in Nigeria, it is not the same thing. You pay them, people that feed on biscuits, you are telling them to go into election, protect people's lives, and if they don't involve in any electoral malpractice, that you are going to reward or you will sanction them. See, let's call it spade now.
So you're saying now that the police force is already compromised, and
they are compromised,
and that statement that they made is actually going to hold no water. But also for you, Mr. Ugochukwu, let's still talk about the Anambra State election. For years, during elections, we've witnessed violence during elections, but we have a new INEC chairman. So this is more or less like a new dispensation. Are you seeing any difference with the November 8th election?
Our hopes are high. Personally, I'm anxious and I'm curious to see the outcome of everything. Before I dive right into that, I also want to say something on what Ifeoma has just said.
Carry on.
You know, it is a sad reality. It is a sad reality. However, we might want to hide it, that the Nigerian police force is more than compromised.
Okay.
It is
I thought you were not going to
I've thought about it. It is a sad reality, you know.
Yes,
it is something not to be proud of. It's a very big shame that, and the Nigerian police force, they've also said that they will withdraw security detail for VIPs on the election day, and I am more than curious about this particular.
They're not withdrawing anything.
How possible will it be? How then the, let me not call any candidate, how then are candidates going to go out, people who never move without
Convoys, yes.
So they are the supposed VIPs. So how then are they going to transport themselves to their polling units?
Those things are announcements. Are you not understanding?
No, you have to hold them accountable.
Of course.
They have come out to say that they will withdraw all the security details for VIPs.
If you see any security detail with any VIP, you hold them accountable.
Exactly.
All those things are
we understand that
stories.
this is what happens, but actually they have come out to say, I did not force them, I didn't force them or put them under duress to say things like this. But just to wrap it up, I would let Mr. Ugochukwu wrap up. Let's get your take generally on this particular election. If there's anything you can say to the new INEC chairman, what would that be?
The new INEC chairman needs to know that Anambra is a political state. I think it is as political as Nigeria as a whole. So these candidates, they have a lot in store. I am telling you, these candidates, both the incumbents, the governor of Anambra State, in fact, the major candidates, Okachukwu of the APC, George Mohalo of Labour Party, and the incumbents, and so many YPP and the rest of them too. These, I am more than anxious. I am anxious to see how it plays out.
So what are you saying, sending to the INEC? If you could say anything.
I'm telling you that they need to be prepared. It's not just words. It's not how they.
Exactly.
It's not by whatever they've said or whatever they think. Because I will continue to point at the election, the by-election in Osumi, that is Okachukwu's village. I was there, and the deputy governor was there also. And it's a question to ask: what was the deputy governor doing
exactly
when we have a Senate election? We are not the candidate. It's not your village. It's not your polling unit. What were you doing there? And we saw the tense interaction between the both of them. So it is
a complex issue.
It's more than complex. It's tense, and it is. Oh my God!
I understand what you're
saying.
So
the Nigerian police, not the police force, but the INEC chairman, the REC, Anambra State, they all have to be prepared, more than prepared.
I think that is basically what everybody is saying concerning the forthcoming elections. There is need for preparation from the INEC concerning the Anambra State election, and it is going to be a litmus test, for the 2027 presidential elections, and really all eyes, are on the Anambra State government as to how this particular election will be conducted. Now, to my guest in the show, Mr. Ugochukwu Afoba, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
To Ifeoma Oji, my co-host, thank you for doing this with me as usual on the show. To our viewers, thank you as always for joining us, for your likes, your shares, and your comments. But if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please endeavor to do so, and follow us across all social media platforms at Active Citizens. You can find me on my personal social media at Sharon Enechukwu Roma.
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miss Alex.
Mr. Ugochukwu.
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and X at Ugochukwu Afoba.
All right, so we'll come your way tomorrow. Do have a good evening.
Thank you.